In this video, we are going to discuss about transistor biasing circuits. Already we start the transistor biasing circuit in last session. We are already discussed about the base resistor method or fixed resistor method in fixed bias circuit. So due to the high value of stability factor, from that circuit we are getting poor stability. Now we are going to discuss Now we are going to discuss about the fixed bias with emitter resistor. In our previous section, we are just only learn about the fixed bias circuit. So this fixed bias circuit, we totally learn how to. So the circuit construction having the resistor RB and RC in fixed bias circuit. Here fixed bias circuit with emitter resistor. So emitter resistor means here we are going to discuss. So that means we are connecting the fixed bias circuit is modified. Fixed bias circuit means up to this. It means from this part. This one is equal to our complete fixed bias circuit. But in this case, that is fixed bias with emitter section, external resistor, here we are connecting one external resistor, that is emitter resistor is connected to the emitter terminal. So due to the connection of this emitter resistor, which introduce the negative feedback, that stabilizes the Q point. Okay, in fixed bias circuit there is no emitter resistor, but so the modified version of the fixed bias circuit with emitter resistor is we are externally connecting one resistor. That external resistor will be connected to the emitter, which will provide the negative feedback that stabilizes the Q point. Next, go for the fixed bias with emitter resistor. So here we look at the merits. The circuit has a tendency to stabilize operating point against changes in temperature and beta value by connecting emitter resistor, which provide the negative feedback. Due to the connection of this emitter resistor, which stabilizes the operating point against changes in temperature and beta value. So now go for the demerits. So as beta value is fixed for a given transistor, this relation can be satisfied either by keeping RE very large or making RB is very low. Okay, if you want to make the beta value fixed, then we can change the resistor value. That is, emitter resistor is going to be very large value, or we can provide the base resistor as very low value. Then we can get the fixed value of beta. But so due to the increasing in the emitter resistor value, that is when if RE is of large value, high VCC is necessary. If we want to increasing the emitter resistor, which require the high power supply, that means high VCC is necessary. Due to the high value of VCC or DC supply, this increases cost as well as some precautions necessary. Some precautions we have to follow. Okay, while we are increasing the emitter resistor is large value, or otherwise we are increasing the value of base resistor is low. We are reducing the value of base resistor is low. Due to the reduction in base resistor R, a separate low voltage supply should be used in the base circuit. Okay, if you want to decreasing the base resistor value to some low value, which requires another voltage supply. So using two supplies of different voltages is impractical, because here two supplies means, so at base ending we are connecting one supply, at the collector ending we are connecting another supply. That means at base ending, that is VBB, at collector ending VCC. It will be occur when RB value is very low. Okay, so if we are decreasing the resistance of base value or base resistor value, which will be used the separate voltage supply. Due to the separate voltage supply means, so within the circuit we are using two different supplies, which is impractical. So in addition to the above, RE causes AC feedback, which reduces the voltage gain of the amplifier due to the increasing the resistance value of emitter, which requiring the high VCC. In addition to that, due to RE, which provides the feedback, that is, which causes the AC feedback, which reduces the voltage gain of the amplifier. Okay, so merits means which stabilize the operating point against changes in temperature and beta. But the main drawbacks in this type of biasing circuit is either we can change the resistance emitter resistor value RE, or we can change the base resistance R. Here the emitter resistor is going to be large, which causes the necessity of VCC is high. When we are decreasing the base resistor value, which is requiring the another supply, voltage supply. So that's why. So these are the main drawbacks or demerits in the fixed bias with emitter feedback. Fixed bias with emitter feedback. So where we are using this fixed bias with emitter bias means the feedback also increases the input impedance of the amplifier when seen from the base, which can be the advantages. Okay, so due to the increasing in the feedback also increases the input impedance of the amplifier. So this one is advantages. Due to the above disadvantages, this type of biasing circuit is used only with careful consideration of the trade-offs of involved. Okay, so due to these above drawbacks, when you are using this type of transistor, there will be a considerable of the trade-offs involved in this type of biasing circuit. So these are the main drawbacks in fixed bias with emitter feedback. Next go for the another type of biasing circuit, that is collector to base bias circuit. Collector to base bias circuit. In our previous circuit diagram, when we are observing the circuit diagram to the previous biasing circuit to this biasing circuit, so this base resistor, here this base resistor will be directly connected to the VCC in case of previous two types of biasing circuit, but in this case collected to base bias. So that means here we are connecting one resistor in between collector to the base. So that's why the name collector to base bias circuit. I mean this configuration employs negative feedback to prevent thermal runaway and stabilize the operating point. Due to the connection of this base resistor, instead of connecting to the VCC, it will be connected to the collector terminal, so which causes the negative feedback. Due to the negative feedback, it prevents the thermal runaway and increases the stabilization of the operating point. So in this form of biasing, the base resistor RF is connected to the collector instead of connecting it to the DC source. Here the DC source is equal to VCC. So any thermal runaway will induce a voltage drop across the RC resistor that will throttle the transistor base current. Okay, the difference will be occur here is equal to the way of connecting the base resistor. So here in collector to base bias circuit, we are just connecting the base resistor to the collector terminal instead of connecting it to the DC source. So now applying the KVL through the base circuit. That means here we are applying the KVL. Okay, when we are applying the KVL to the base circuit, then we can get IB plus IC. When we are applying the KVL, you can get IB plus IC into RC plus IB into RF, IB into RF, and VB equal to VCC, IB into RF. That means here we can apply the KVL. Okay, so where we are applying the KVL means here we can apply the KVL. That means from this point, So in this section we are applying the KVL. Okay, so the KVL at the input section means here the current flowing through the resistor, that is RF, again the current flowing through the collector terminal and the emitter terminal. Then we can get then IB plus IC into RC, because the current flowing through the collector resistor is IB plus IP, the summation of IB current plus IC current, plus the current flowing through the base resistor is equal to base current, that is IB, plus the voltage drop between base and emitter equal to VBE. The total will be equal to the applied DC source. Here the DC source equal to VCC. Again differentiate this equation with respect to the IC. When we are differentiating this equation with respect to the IC, then we can get dou IB by dou IC. Dou IB by dou IC equal to minus RC by RA plus RC. Already we know that the stability factor S equal to already we know that the stability factor S is equal to 1 plus beta. One plus beta by 1 minus beta into dou IB by dou IB by dou IC. This is the stability factor from the equation that is fixed by a circuit. So now in this case, that is the stability factor SICO equal to 1 plus beta by 1 plus beta into RC by RC plus RF. That means just you can substitute the value of dou IB by dou IC in this equation. Then you can get S, the stability factor S equal to 1 plus beta by 1 plus beta into here dou IB by dou IC equal to RC by RF plus RC. That is equal to our stability factor in case of collector to base resistor method. Okay, in case of collector to base emitter method. So due to this stability factor in terms of RC and base resistor and collector resistor, due to changes of this dou IB by dou IC, so the beta value or the stability factor is less than 1 plus beta. What we are learning in last sessions or previous biasings. So the stability factor equal to 1 plus beta. But in this case the stability factor is less than 1 plus beta. That means which signifying the better thermal stability. Okay. So due to the changes in the stability factor, that is dou IB by dou IC, which causes the changes in the stability factor, the stability factor is going to be less than the 1 plus beta. So due to the reduction in the stability factor, which better in thermal stability. That is about the collector to base bias circuit. Now go for the what are the merits and demerits in this type of biasing. First we'll go to the merits. So the circuit stabilizes the operating point against variation in temperature and beta. So this will be stabilize the operating point against the variation in temperature and beta. So mostly the operating point will be changed due to the variations in temperature and transistor parameters. So this collector to base bias circuit will be against the variations, against the variation in temperature and beta. So that's why the operating point will be stabilized. So now go for the demerits in this type of transistor base biasing circuit. As beta value is fixed, that is unknown value for a given transistor, this relation can be satisfied either by keeping RC fairly large or making RF very low. Okay, in previous section we can keep the RE, that is emitter resistor is large or base resistor is low. But in this session, okay, if the BT value is fixed, then by keeping RC value, that is collector resistor is fairly large, or making base resistor is very low. Suppose if collector resistor RC is large, when the collector resistor is make a large resistance value, a high VCC is necessary, which increases the cost as well as the precautions necessary while handling. If RF value is low, that means if base value is very low, the reverse bias of the collector bias region is small because the emitter resistance is low, which causes the reverse bias of the collector base region is small, which limits the range of collector voltage swing, that leaves the transistor in active mode. Okay, that means which limits the range of collector voltage swing. That means due to the decreasing the base resistor value, the reverse bias of the collector base region is reduced or small, which limits the range of collector voltage swing, that leaves the transistor in active mode. So the transistor RF causes an AC feedback because this base resistor will be directly connected to the collector, so that's why it forms a feedback. That feedback is equal to 8, causes an AC feedback, reducing the voltage gain of the amplifier. Due to the AC feedback of this RF resistor, reducing the voltage gain of the amplifier. This undesirable effect is a trade-off for the greater Q point stability. Okay, these are the main demerits in case of collector to base biasing circuit. Okay, that means RC, if you want to increasing the RC value, which is necessary to choose the high VCC value. Next, if you want to change the base resistor value is very low, which reduces the reverse bias of the collector base region, which will limit the range of collector voltage swing. Along with that, due to the resistor RF, which causes an AC feedback, reducing the voltage gain of the amplifier. So this undesirable effect is the trade-off for the greater Q point stability. These will be causes. So this will changes the Q point stability. So now where we are using these type of biasing circuit. So the feedback also decreases the input impedance of the amplifier as seen from the base, which can be advantageous due to the gain reduction from feedback. This biasing form is used only when the trade-off for stability is warranted. Okay, so due to the above drawbacks, so this type of biasing is used only when the trade-off for stability is warranted. So these are the merits and demerits of collector to base bias circuit. Next, go for the next type of biasing circuit, the potential divider bias circuit. Okay, so this is most commonly used arrangement for biasing, as it provides good biasing stability. So among the 4 types of biasing circuit, so these potential divider biasing circuit provide good biasing stability. So in this arrangement, the emitter resistor RE. Okay, so in this arrangement means, so look at the circuit in this arrangement. Okay, here the emitter resistor RE, which provides the stabilization. The emitter resistor will provide the stabilization. So this resistance, the resistance RE, cause a voltage drop in a direction so as to reverse bias the emitter junction. Okay, due to the resistance RE, which causes a voltage drop in a direction so as to reverse bias the emitter junction. The emitter junction is reverse biased. Since the emitter base junction is to be forward biased, the bias voltage is obtained from R1 and R2 network. Okay, so this emitter resistor RE, which is used for the stabilization, which will cause the drop in the emitter voltage, that means which increases the reverse bias junction. So at the same time, so the resistors R1 and R2, will make a forward junction of the base and emitter, will increases the forward junction. That is, the forward junction means since the emitter and base junction is to be forward biased. So the base voltage is obtained from R1 and R2 here. So from this forward bias, the base voltage VBB is obtained from R1 and R2 network. That means this R1 and R2 network will act like a potential divider circuit. So from this potential divider circuit, we are getting the base voltage. So the net forward bias across the emitter base junction is equal to, okay. So the net forward bias voltage will be equal to VB in DC voltage drop across RE, okay. So that means the net forward bias across the emitter base junction, that is the VBE, is equal to the DC voltage drop across RE, okay. So the voltage drop across VBE between the base and emitter will be equal to the DC voltage drop across RE. So the base voltage is set by VCC and R1 and R2. The base voltage is set by the potential divider circuit, that is R1 and R2 along with VCC supply. So the DC bias circuit is independent of transistor current gain. So the DC biasing circuit is applied from the R1 and R2 along with VCC. This one is independent of transistor current gain. In case of amplifier, to avoid the loss of AC signal, a capacitor of large capacitance is connected across RC. So if you want to reduce or avoid the losses of AC signal, okay, a large capacitor is connected across this emitter resistor. We are connecting one capacitor to avoid the loss of AC signal. So the capacitor offers a very small reactance to AC signal, and so it passes through the condenser. Okay, the capacitor nature is so which allows the AC and blocks the DC signal. So here the capacitor, okay, so the capacitor is connected across the RE. This capacitor will offers a very small reactance to AC signal, and so it passes through the condenser. That's why the AC signal will be passes through the condenser. This is one is equal to our potential divider circuit. That means this RE resistor, that means the emitter resistor will provide the stabilization. Next, VCC, R1 and R2 will provide the base voltage. At the same time, this resistor R2 will provide the forward junction, will provide the forward bias at the base and emitter junction. Again, the bias voltage across this R2 will be VBE will be equal to the voltage drop across this RE, that is equal to our potential divider biasing circuit. So before we are analyze the stability factor of this potential divider biasing circuit, there is a need to converting this circuit. That means this potential divider biasing circuit is converted into equivalent Thevenin circuit. That means, so to find the stability of this circuit, we have to convert this circuit into this Thevenin equivalent circuit. Okay, so the Thevenin equivalent circuit means the voltage source is in series with the equivalent resistance. That means the total circuit will be converted into only two parameters. That one is equal to voltage and resistance. Here the voltage will be called as VTH. VTH means Thevenin's voltage. Again, this Thevenin's voltage is connected in series with the resistor. Here the equivalent resistors are the Thevenin's resistor here is equal to the RTH. Okay, so from this circuit the RTH is equal to, okay, so the RTH is from the potential divider circuit, that is R1 and R2. Okay, at this point we are calculating the RTH. When we are calculating RTH, this resistor R1 and R2 will connected as in parallel. So due to the parallel connection of this resistor R1 and R2, we can get RTH is equal to R1 by RTH is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. When we are simplifying this equation, we can get the Thevenin's resistance RTh is equal to R1 into R2 by R1 plus R2. That is the Thevenin's resistance. Again, we can calculate the Thevenin's voltage VTh. The Thevenin's voltage VTh is equal to the supply voltage VCC into, so where we are calculating Thevenin's resistance means across the resistor R2. So that's why, so VTh is equal to the supply voltage VCC into same resistance R2 by the sum of resistances. Here the sum of resistance here is equal to R1 plus R2. So that's why VTh is equal to the supply voltage VCC into same resistor, that is R2 by the sum of the resistances, that is R1 plus R2. That means that the whole circuit will be converted into equivalent resistance and equivalent voltage. That is RTh is equal to R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. VTh is equal to VCC into R2 by R1 plus R2. Okay, now from this circuit you have to calculate the stability factor. That means to calculating the stability factor, here we are applying the KVL at input based circuit. Here we are applying the KVL. So where we are applying KVL? So the KVL is applied through the input based circuit. Through the input based circuit, here we are applying the KVL. Okay, so KVL means Kirchhoff voltage law. So then you can write the equation, that is IB. The current flowing through the base terminal is IB through the resistor RTh. So that's why IB into RTh plus, so the same current, that is IE into RE. The current flowing through the emitter resistor is equal to IE. So plus IE into RE plus the voltage between base and emitter equal to VBE. This whole will be equal to VTh. That means the sum of EMFs equal to the sum of voltage drop across the each branch. So that's why, so IB into RTh plus VBE plus IE into RE is equal to VTh. So now from this equation, okay, you can get the IB value. Okay, so from this equation the IB value is equal to, from this equation, so IB value is equal to VTh minus IC into RE minus VBE by RTh plus RE. At the same time, so this equation is differentiate with respect to the IC. When we are differentiating this above equation with respect to the IC, then rearranging, we can get dou IB by dou IC equal to, dou IB by dou IC equal to minus RE by RTh plus RE. Simply substitute this equation, that is dou IB by dou IC into the stability factor equation. Then we can get the stability factor in potential divider circuit is, so the SICO equal to 1 plus beta by 1 plus beta into, so dou IB by dou IC. Here the dou IB by dou IC equal to RE by RE plus RTh. So this is the stability factor equation for the potential divider circuit. So this shows that the ICO is inversely proportional to the RE. That means the stability factor is inversely proportional to emitter resistor and it is less than the 1 plus beta, this value. That means, so the stability factor value is less than 1 plus beta. So due to the less in the stability factor, due to the value is less in the stability factor, so which is signifying better thermal stability. Okay, so we are getting better thermal stability means, so when the stability factor value is low, we can get the better stability or better thermal stability. That means the operating point is in stability condition. Okay, so to get the equation. So next, at the same time, if you want to calculate the collector current IC, then we can apply the KVL. So in this direction, that means at the collector circuit, if you want to calculate the IC current, then we can apply the KVL at the collector circuit, that is from VCC to the RE. Then we can get, so the collector current IC equal to VCC minus VCC minus VCE. VCE means the voltage drop between collector and emitter. Then IC equal to VCC minus VCE by sum of the resistance, that is RC plus RE, that is equal to our collector current IC. Okay, if you want to calculate the collector current, applying the KVL at the collector circuit, when you are applying the KVL, from that equation we are getting the value of collector current IC. The collector current IC is equal to VCC minus VCE by RC plus RE. Okay, so this one is equal to our stability factor, potential divider biasing circuit. So in this potential divider biasing circuit, so the stability factor is less than 1 plus beta. So due to the less than 1 plus beta, which signifies the better thermal stability. It signifies the better thermal stability. Next, go for the merits and demerits along with their usage. Go for the merits. So operating point is almost independent of beta variation. So at the same time, operating point stabilized against shift in temperature. Okay, in this potential divider biasing circuit, so operating point is almost independent of beta variation, and it is operating point will be stabilized against shift in temperature. Okay, it does not depends upon the beta variations and temperature variations. So that's why the stability factor is low, which will signifies the better thermal stability. Now go for the demerits. As beta value is fixed for a given transistor, so this relation can be satisfied either by keeping RE fairly large or making R1 is in parallel with R2 very low. Okay, in previous session and previous biasing circuit, there we can increasing the RC value, that is collector resistor is going to be large and base resistor is going to be low. So in this circuit, so the RE will be going to be large and the resistance value R1 is in parallel with R2 will make very low value. Okay, if we want to fix the beta value, then by keeping RE fairly large or making R1 is in parallel with R2 very low. Suppose if RE is of large value, suppose if resistor value is going to be large value, so high VCC is necessary. That means the supply voltage, DC supply is high. So this increases the cost as well as precautions necessary while handling. Okay, due to the increasing in the emitter resistor value, so there is a necessary to use the high DC source. So due to the high DC source, which will increases the cost. At the same time, the handling will be also take a precautions while handling. Or otherwise, if you are decreasing the R1 is in parallel with R2 value, that means so the parallel circuit value is decreases. That means either we can decreasing the resistance value R1 or we can reduce the resistor value R2, or we can reduce both the resistances R1 and R2 value is low. Okay, in this case either we can decrease the value of R1 or R2, or we can decrease or reduce the both resistance values. Suppose if a low R1 value is decreases, okay, a low R1 value is increases, VB closer to VC. When we are decreasing the resistance R1 value is low, which raises the VB base voltage closer to the collector voltage. So reducing the available swing in collector voltage. When the VB voltage is equal to VC, which reduces the available swing in the collector voltage, and limiting high large RC can be made without driving the transistor out of active mode. Next, if a low R2, suppose if we are reducing the R2 value is lower and which lowers the VBE, so we are reducing the R2 which reduces the VBE. So this reducing the allowed collector current, lowering both resistor values, which reducing the allowed collector current. Okay, so we are reducing the R1 value which reduces the collector voltage, and we are reducing the R2 value which reduces the collector current. Suppose if we are reducing or lowering the both resistor values. Okay, we are reducing both resistor values, draws the more current from the power supply. We are reducing the two resistor values lower, and which draws the more current from the power supply and lowers the input resistance of the amplifier. Okay, so due to the reduction in the or lowering the values of both resistor R1 and R2, which draws the more current from the power supply and lowers the input resistance of the amplifier. That means when R1 value is low, which reduces the collector voltage, when R2 value is lower, which reduces the collector current. Suppose if reducing the both resistor values, then which draws the more current from the power supply and lowers the input resistance of the amplifier. Among that, AC as well as DC feedback is caused by RE. This emitter resistor will be used as a feedback resistor. So this feedback resistor is used for AC as well as a DC feedback, which reduces the AC voltage gain of the amplifier. Due to the resistance RE, that is emitter resistor, which provide the feedback ACR as well as DC. So due to that, which reduces the AC voltage gain of the amplifier. So a method to avoid AC feedback while retaining DC feedback is now discussed in next sessions. Now where we are using this type of potential divider circuit. So this potential divider circuit stability and merits as above make it widely used for linear circuits. So this potential divider circuit will be widely used for linear circuit. Linear circuit means here we can used as a current source. The transistor will be used as a current source. So these are the merits, demerits and uses of a potential divider circuit. So after this, so the total 4 biasing circuits are completed. So those 4 biasing circuits are fixed bias circuit, fixed bias with emitter feedback, collector base biasing circuit. The final one is potential divider circuit. Among these 4 biasing circuit, so the best method to apply in the biasing circuit is potential divider circuit, because so which having the less than 1 plus beta as a stability factor. Due to the low values of the stability factor, so which is having the high thermal stability. That means, so by using the potential divider circuit, so the stability factor is around up to 10. So around 10. So that's why very low value of stability factor, so which will cause the high thermal stability. So high thermal stability means which will cause the high thermal stability. That means the operating point is stable. So going to the summary. So the Q point is the best point for operation of a transistor for a given collector current. Okay, so Q point means operating point. So why we are applying biasing to the transistor means to maintain the operating point stable. Okay, that means the Q point is the best point for operation of a transistor for a given collector current. So when the operating point is stable, then there is a faithful amplification. Okay, so that means the transistor will acts as an amplifier. So due to this amplifier, it is in stable condition. The operating point is in stable condition. There is a advantage is that there is a faithful amplification is going to be done. Faithful amplification is done. So that's why we are applying the biasing circuit. Next, the purpose of biasing is to establish a stable operating point. That means Q point. Q point means quiescent point. Either it will be at the center. So the Q point is at the center of the DC load line, or otherwise it is in between to the saturation or cutoff region. So that means the operating point is always in between the saturation and cutoff region. So the linear region of a transistor is the region of operation within saturation and cutoff. Okay, so in the 4 biasing circuit, the potential divider biasing circuit is used in linear circuits. That means it will be operated in linear region of a transistor. That means, so the region of operation is done within the saturation and cutoff region. So that's why the stability factor is low and operating point is going to be stable in linear region of a transistor. So out of all the biasing circuits, so potential divider biasing circuit provides highest stability of operating point. Okay, so among the 4 types of biasing circuits, so the potential divider biasing circuit provides highest stability to operating point. So now go for the summary of biasing techniques. Totally we have the 4 types of biasing circuit. In that the first one is equal to fixed bias circuit. The first one is equal to fixed bias circuit. So this circuit is equal to our fixed bias circuit. So in this fixed bias circuit, so the total operation is controlled by the base resistor RB. The total stability factor will be controlled by the base resistor RB. So this base resistor RB and collector resistor RC both will be connected to the power supply, that is VCC. Okay. So this fixed bias circuit is sensitive to beta. That means, so the stability factor mostly affected by the changes in the beta value. Next go for this fixed bias circuit is transformed into, so that is fixed bias circuit with potential divider, that is R1 and R2 will provide the potential divider. So this will be also connected to the one power supply, that is equal to VCC, along with collector resistor RC. Okay, so these circuit are also sensitive to resistor errors. Okay, sensitive to the resistor errors. Now this circuit will be transformed into, so here we are connecting RB. Okay, in our fixed bias circuit or fixed bias with emitter circuit, so RB will be connected to the VCC. That means it will be connected to the supply. But so in this case, that means, so connected to base bias circuit, the resistor RB is connected to the collector terminal. Here we are connecting the RB value instead of connecting to the VCC. Instead of we are connecting the RB value to the VCC, it will be connected to the collector terminal. Okay, so due to that, which reduces the some amount of the stability factor. Okay, but this one is always in active mode, where it will be worked in always in active mode, that is equal to collector to base bias circuit. The final method here is equal to the potential divider circuit. So the potential divider will be formed by two resistors, that is R1 and R2. So from this R1 and R2 you can get the base value, that is base voltage VB. Okay, here the resistor RE will provide the stabilization. Okay, at the same time it will be provide the feedback path for the both AC and DC circuits. Okay, so this RE will be used for stabilization purpose. At the same time it will provide the feedback path for AC as well as DC. Here the collector resistor is equal to RC. The collector resistor is equal to RC. So finally from this, among these four circuits, so the first circuit is sensitive to the beta, the second one is sensitive to the resistor variations, the third one is always in active mode, but the fourth method is, it is most suitable for faithful amplification of a transistor. So that is most used biasing circuit here is equal to potential divider biasing circuit. So this we are using this potential divider circuit means, so which provides the stability factor around 10, or otherwise if we are negligible values of RTH by RE, then the stability factor of this potential divider circuit is equal to almost unity. That means the stability factor is equal to 1. So in practically the stability factor of this potential divider circuit is around 1. So that's why among the 4 biasing circuits, so we are using potential divider circuit in linear operation of a transistor. Thank you.